Hi guys, welcome back again. Back to our original format today, where I actually speak on the video as opposed to my last one, which I recorded while I was actually playing. I'm not sure which you prefer, but we're back to the original today. So before I get into today's games, I'd just like to touch base on the developer update which was released yesterday. Quite a few things in there, but the main thing I would like to focus on is the hag change. Now, some people are taking this to be a buff, as flashlights will no longer remove hag traps. And while this is great, and it will change things during chase when someone has a flashlight, people seem to be missing the fact that any survivor can now remove a hag trap by crouching over it and performing what they classed as a short sequence. I'm not sure if this is going to be similar to how you get rid of demi-dog portals, or how you remove the new killer skull merchants drones, but either way, this in my opinion is not good for hag. Hag is one of the killers that definitely relies on her traps. She's very slow during chase. Without the traps, you have no element of surprise, no way to end chase quickly. And at the lower ranks, yes, against less experienced survivors, this probably won't make much of a difference. But when you're facing high-ranking survivors, and especially swifts, or even high-ranking randoms, you are always going to have somebody that will watch where you go and will be getting rid of your traps. And the prep that you think you have, you will no longer have. It's essentially giving everybody a base flashlight. That's what it feels like to me anyway. And I don't know, I don't think I'm happy about these changes. I think it will affect hag negatively. She's already one of the least picked killers as it is, and with such an easy way for survivors to be able to get rid of her power, I don't think it will be good for her, and I'm certainly not looking forward to it. Of course, this is just my opinion on it. Other people may have different opinions, but I do think this will hurt the hag, and I hope that they won't go forward with it, although I think that they will. As I said, hag is a very low pick killer. There won't be much noise made about this, and the majority of survivors will welcome it, as they hate playing against hag, and they will easily be able to remove their traps. So I'm just thinking about things like when you trap a hook, survivors will now know they can just crouch in, get rid of the trap before they unhook, so that there's really no point trapping hooks anymore. Of course, when you're chasing someone with a flashlight, usually they will try to get rid of your trap during chase at loops and pallets and things, so this won't be able to be done anymore by the survivor that you're chasing, but there's nothing to stop them communicating this to their swift, that she's laid a trap here, and they will come in and get rid of it while you're in chase. I do think it will make hag more difficult to play, but then I guess we'll have to see when it comes in how it plays out. But on the surface of things, I am not really pleased with it, and to be honest, I don't think that she needed it. Good survivors will already play well around a hag anyway, with or without a flashlight. You usually have someone, one or two survivors, following you around the map to get rid of the prep or the others focus gens, which leaves you unable to do anything as you rely on your traps. Hag relies on her traps. So yeah, not very happy with this change. Of course, and then hearing that they've indirectly buffed the nurse as well, as you won't be able to blind her anymore to stop her from blinking. To me, this is a buff to the nurse. It's something that she didn't need. She's pretty strong anyway, so yeah, not very strong. Not very happy about what they're doing to my poor hag. But we shall see as it plays out. They may change it, of course. I know the community isn't very pleased, shall we say, about the changes to healing and the boon, as well as the nerf to Billy. Another nerf to Billy. Poor Billy. I do feel sorry for Billy. He used to be one of the most popular players when I started playing 4 years ago. You would always see Billy match after match, and he was one of the most feared killers. I hated facing a Billy. For me, he was one of the most feared. I was absolutely trash against him, and then they nerfed him into the ground out of nowhere, and now it appears they're nerfing him again, as they are changing his engravings, which according to a lot of Billy mains is something that they use a lot, as it makes the game more fun to play Billy, and they are nerfing them into the ground as well. So Billy players, you have my sympathies. This update seems to have come a bit out of left field. I'm not really sure where they're going with it and why they're doing it. And of course, the biggest change is the change to Dead Hard. Not really sure why they're doing this, as I play Survivor 2 and I don't understand. They already changed Dead Hard from its original state, and in its current state, yes, it's still strong, but it's not as bad as what it was. And to now have it where it only activates if you unhook somebody, then it will work as normal. It means people in the first chase will not have any use of the exhaustion if they're running Dead Hard. So I think you'll see a change to the meta there with this. Sprint Burst and Live and things will become more popular, I think. Not really sure why they changed it, but anyway, that is what they are doing. Of course, there are many other changes. If you go off, you can search DBD and read the patch notes yourself. But the one that I'm most annoyed about is the Hag one. The other ones, yeah, they're not great, but I can live with that. But the change to my Hag, no. I do not want to have to deal with high-ranking Swifts who are just going to go around and remove all the prep I've put on the board, and I'm basically 110 movement speed killer with no other power to be able to use. She will become very difficult to play, and I think you'll see more Hag mains using map offerings and also using her best add-on, which is the shackles, dark maps, to be able to hide the traps so they can't see them, to get rid of them. So yes, there's my little rant for today. I guess we better get on to the games that I'm uploading for you today. Today's games are both of them. There's two today. I'm being generous today and giving you two. So these games today are revolving around people that rush the hook, even though they're knowing they're playing a Hag. They know that I've most likely trapped the hook. You can see the trap, so I don't understand why they rush the hook, but they do, especially in the first game, which takes place on Cowshed. Ends up in a lot of hook trading. In my eyes, this isn't camping. This isn't unfair play. If you know there's a trap at the hook and you run in anyway and you set it off and still do the unhook, of course I'm going to teleport back. It's my power. And survivors seem to get a little upset when you do this, that they do consider it as camping, coming back to hook. All you have to do is crouch, guys. That's all you have to do. If you crouch and get the unhook and crouch away, you don't set that trap off, I'm most likely not coming back to the hook unless I'm close by anyway. And even if I do come back, I'm going to go after the person that unhooked you, not the one that got unhooked. So it's really not difficult. Just crouch. Please don't complain to me about camping and coming back to the hook. When if you set the trap off, it's fair game. In both these clips, you'll see the first is on Cowshed, the second is on Midwich. You'll see players that just rush the hook. I understand maybe the first couple of hooks, if you don't know you're playing a Hag, you wasn't sure there was a trap, but after you know, you shouldn't be rushing in to unhook. Crouch. It takes a few seconds, you still get the unhook, and you'd prevent me from coming back to the hook. Because as I said, if you don't set that trap off, I'm most likely not coming back. I'll be off across the map somewhere else, either in chase with somebody else or laying down more prep for future chases. So, with all that said and all that in mind, I also forgot to mention, if you're returning, welcome back again. I do appreciate, and to all the new followers that have come in recently, welcome to you too. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you're here from TikTok, as a lot of my traffic seems to come from TikTok on here and on my Twitch. That's right, I've been streaming again. If you haven't seen it, then you're missing out, because I don't do it often. But this past week I have streamed three streams, I think, 3 or 4 streams. I'm hoping to continue, but that will all depend on my anxiety and nerves. So if you get a chance to catch me live, please come by and say hi. I do love it when you come in to say hi. I appreciate the company, and playing my killer games, which I don't usually do on stream, has been quite fun, so I may continue to do that. I generally tend to play Survivor more on stream though, but if you do want to see me play, you can just come over and ask, and I would be happy to oblige you. Anyway, I'm going to let the games play now. Please excuse the old lobby screen that I'm using in the background here. I actually forgot to upload a new one, and this one's pretty old, but I figured it wouldn't matter, as it's just there for visual while I gave you this little chat. So enjoy the videos. Please like, comment, subscribe if you're new. I do appreciate it. I've actually hit over 150 now, so that's really good. Links to my other socials will be in the description, and I hope you enjoy the games, guys. See you on the other side. So here you can see we're loading in on Cowshed, or as I call it, Cowshit, as it is one of the more difficult maps for Killer. Good loops, big size, wide gen spread. They didn't burn this map though, they just got lucky, so we can't be too upset. Now I'm going to try and keep gens on one side, but I need to lay down some prep first. So off we go, spreading our traps around. As you can see, I am running these shackles. I seem to be running shackles more and more lately. We have three survivors, 3 ladies on the gen here in the cowshed. Jane loses her medkit there, so we trap it, as I know she'll want it back. We trap this window as it's a usual escape route in this building, and we give Jen a kick, or a slap in Hag's case. And here you can hear Jane, she did come back for the medkit. Yes, I missed there. And I miss again. I am only human, I do miss sometimes. But we don't miss this one, my prep at the hill there. So, but they do get the gen as well. And obviously somebody else was working on another gen as I lose another. But that's okay, we've got a hook, we have a few traps down on the board. So we hook Jane, we trap her, and we continue. Jin Jin was very nicely picking up Jane's medkit there for her. So we trap it again. As you can see there, the first unhook happened and they didn't set the trap off, which is good. And we get down on Jin Jin here. Yes, I realise her name is Yun Jin. We started calling her Jin Jin when she first came out and it just kind of stuck. So we tend to call her Jin Jin all the time now. Now, as you can see, one of my perks here is monitor and abuse, and I can only assume that Nancy didn't realise I was as close as what I was because of the monitor, and that's why she continued working the gen. She then makes the mistake of running towards the hook to get the unhook, and she ends up getting downed for it. Monitor and abuse is a great perk on Hag, if you don't know. It decreases your terror radius when you're not in chase by 8 meters. Hag's base is 24 meters, so when you take the 8 off that, it becomes 16, and you can get sneak up on survivors. They just don't realize you're as close as what you are. I can hear Yui there. Oh no, Jin Jin, sorry, behind me. That trap at the hook with Nancy also gets set off, but I don't teleport. I get rid of the pallet instead and I let them go. Nancy takes her medkit. Yui didn't realise that she was too close to this trap here, so she gets downed at the hook as well. This is where the importance of crouching comes in. When you get towards the hook and you see that there's a trap there, you can quite clearly see it on this map. It's very, very prominent. And all you got to do is crouch, guys, and the trap won't get set off. Now we have a boon being put into play. Just spreading the traps out a little further. There goes the unhook. And the trap is set off afterwards. We give Yui a slap as she's the only one I can see. She goes into borrow time men status. I don't want to chase down the area of the map where Nancy's running, as I don't have any prep there, so I'm going back. I noticed earlier that Jane ran this way, so I'm placing a trap here at this tile in case she runs it again, as survivors do tend to run the same routes repeatedly. Unfortunately for Yui, I have already had prep in this tile where she ran, so that is another hook for Yui. It's not intentional, Yui, it's not personal. You just happen to be in an area where I had prepped. I know there that Nancy went back for a medkit as my trap got set off down the bottom of the map. We replace a trap here, and I also place a trap at this gen, just off to the side. With it being so far progressed, I'm sure somebody will be back for it. Shack gen done. Nancy's healed up. As I thought, Jane ran back through the area. That's specifically why I placed that trap there. Here we have Jin Jin running into the hook again. So it's an easy hook trade for me. If survivors are going to make mistakes, then unfortunately I am going to use that to my advantage. Especially on a map like Cowshed. Now I know Yui came over here because she set the trap off, so I replace it and hit the gem again. And here you'll see the Jane is there picking up her medkit, which is what brings me in this direction. And while I'm here, I can hear Yui mending in this tile, healing in this tile. Or not even healing, I think she was just there. And I could hear her groan, so I'm going to go after you, Yui, as you're the injured one, and Jane's run down to an area where there is no prep. And Yui isn't happy about this, so she DCs. Sorry, Yui. Yes, more misses. Which is ironic considering the wideness of Jane, but yes, I do miss her again. We let Nancy get her gen mat there, as why not? Everybody's trying to get them. As we're 2 players out now, I can afford to stray from my area more. There's only 1 gen left, but it will take time to complete. I place the trap here at this window in case Jane decides to run this tile, which she does. Now here I had a choice. I know Nancy's over by that gen at the top that Yui was trying to complete as the trap went off, so I could have slipped Jane and gone looking for Nancy, but I decided not to, in the interest of saving time. And even if Nancy gets the hatch, that's fine. A 3k to me is still a win. Even with the DC, as Yui was death hook, so it's still a kill. And Nancy got very lucky, and the hatch spawned up by the gen that she was trying to complete. So, well played, Nancy. And GG's to the other guys too. So there's important lessons there about not rushing into the hook. And we're going to go straight into the next game, no break, just straight into the next one, and here it is. In this lobby you can see there's two P100s, and one of the Nias, which I didn't notice at the time, is actually a legacy Nia. Means she's been playing the game for quite some time. Even I don't have any legacy sets. One of them burnt a ward to protect their item, and I burnt Midwich. Again, I'm using the shackles, but I have a different build this time. It's my Starstruck Agitation build with Franklin's and Sloppy. I find it plays quite well on this map, with Midwich being so small. So to begin, we start with our prep. I tend to trap, so there's a certain way I trap Midwich. I always trap this courtyard, as a lot of survivors run in and out of it. And the traps are quite difficult to see as well on this map. This trap here at the drop down hole above, I find at least once every match on Midwich I will get a hit or a down using that trap, so that is a very good trap on this map. And the God pallet here, of course, gets used frequently, so that gets trapped too. Here we find our legacy Nia. He wasn't expecting the shackles, I don't think, or the prep that I'd already done. She drops her medkit, so I trap it. That trap will cover the pallet there and coming in and out of that room, as well as if she goes back for the medkit. And she goes for the God pallet, which so many survivors do on this map, and we get ourselves a nice grab. We have also lost one gen, but that's okay. We have some prep down and we have a hook. Here I decide not to trap right in front of the hook as I usually would. I decide to trap the corner, hoping to catch somebody off guard that may come round this way to unhook her. And I also hear this gen near completion, so we head in here to Michaela. As she was so close, she should be starstruck, which she is. I trapped the pallet there as I've already got the trap underneath the drop down hole there as well, so there wasn't really any way she could go here. If she dropped down the hole, I'd catch her with this trap. If she chose to leave the room, which she did, I'd catch her with the other one. So we now have two hooks. A ridiculously long scream there from Michaela, and we're just putting a bit more prep down around the map. On Midwich, I tend to stick to trapping the ground floor as opposed to the upstairs. Survivors usually end up downstairs, and I just find it plays out better if I trap the ground floor as opposed to upstairs. My trap there on the corner caught Jill off guard, which is what I planned. She takes her down for it. The other Nia is close here. There she is with her flashlight, trying to get the blind. We faked the trap there to push Nia to continue running, because I knew I could hit her with this trap. So she's now in men status as well. And the other Nia is now down too. So as you can see, everyone starts giving up. They don't want to play. A hag on Midwich with shackles is the only thing I can assume. Not that I blame them. Nia didn't even bother to mend there after she took the hit earlier, so she doesn't want to play. As I said, I probably wouldn't want to play a hag on Midwich with shackles either. The floor is very dark, the traps are difficult to see. It's not a very big map, there isn't many great pallets or loops on this map. So I don't blame them for giving up. So now I just gotta break some walls, place a few more traps for points. But as you can see, rushing the hook like that, you can lead to a chain reaction of events. When all you have to do is crouch, guys. Just a little crouch, in and out, and you will be fine. You won't set the trap off. So that is the second game, guys. So welcome back to the other side, guys. I hope you enjoyed those games. The Midwich one in particular was rather short, but like I said, I can't blame them not wanting to play a hag on Midwich. A lot of survivors don't like you having Franklins either when they lose their items, so they tend to give up and they just want to move on to the next game. I hope it was able to show you the importance of crouching when you go in for the unhook against a hag. I find it rather humorous that most people can find the crouch button when they're teabagging you during chase, and they can find it repeatedly. They seem to forget about it though when they're going in for the unhook, so yeah. Anyway, this is what I have for you today. I shall again try to be more regular in uploading to this channel. If you don't follow me on TikTok, I would appreciate it if you would head over and follow me there. I'm on my way to 10,000. Also on Twitch too. I've broken 500 over on there, which I'm very, very pleased with. I never assumed that anybody would take the time to even watch my content, let alone follow me. So that does mean a lot to me that you do this. Any comments, please leave them. Any suggestions, anything like that at all, just leave them down below and I shall get back to you. And until next time, guys, I hope you have a lovely day and I shall see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.